Welcome back, everyone. I'm so glad to be doing this again today with all of you. I've got an exciting review today for you guys. This one's actually took me a while to get a hold of. I had pre-ordered it and then it sold out and they didn't expect it to sell as well as it did, so it took a long time for me to get this, but I finally have my copy and some of them are coming back in stock now, so I've got some exciting information to share with you guys on this review. We're going to be doing Final Space, the complete seasons 1 and 2 remastered Blu-ray that just came out by Warner Archive. So I'm going to break this down, go into the show and things like that. I got a lot of exciting information to share with you guys about this, so make sure you stick around here. I've got a couple of things I need to cover real quick with you guys here. So as always, please make sure to like, subscribe, and click the bell notification down there so you get notified as I release new content, just like what I'm doing today, so you know when the new review comes out or some new information, just like what I did before, giving you some heads up on some things that are coming out to pre-order. So make sure to click the bell notification and like and subscribe these videos a thumbs up, and make sure to share these with anybody you know that might be interested in either the content or a lot of these things that I'm going through, reviews of Blu-rays and things that are coming out. Please make sure to share these. That helps the channel out. I also have a bunch of shirts available. They actually are the channel shirts. They have just the channel's logo on them, and they also help support the channel, and that helps out greatly. I do appreciate all of the orders that have gotten so far, and any of you that continue to support that. The link to order a shirt for yourself, they're both available in men's and women's, is down in the description below. So if you want to get those, just go into the description. You can click on that link and go through and order them through there. But otherwise, make sure to like, subscribe, and share these videos. I appreciate all the support you've all been giving. Let's dive into this review now and get back into this. I'm real excited about this one today, so let's get rolling on it. All right, so back on Final Space here. Now, some of you might have heard of this and some of you might not. And so I'm going to try to give you kind of a rundown a little bit about the show. Then we're going to dive into the contents, the quality, and all that stuff. So we're first going to start off with it. So Final Space is basically an adult animated, space comedy, opera. It's hard to explain. I mean, the best description I can give for you guys on how this show is kind of a mismatch of things is, I think of it as like a combination of Star Trek, animated obviously here, Star Trek, Flash Gordon, the 1980s movie, and then SpongeBob. And I know that might sound like a horrible mix mash together, but until you've seen the show, it's definitely a combination of multiple elements of each of those. It's a sci-fi show. I put it in the terms of it's an epic sci-fi serious comedy. And I know those two kind of contradict each other, but it's kind of like it's got some seriousness in it, some real serious, deep adult storylines, and then it's got some comedy in it, and then a whole bunch of comedy, and it mixes them well all together. It is one of those things that I do want to point out for my viewers. It is, in my opinion, and again, don't burn me on a stake for this, but in my opinion, it is not a child show. So it's not for kids. Each of you can make the determination on your own, but I try to give you an idea of what the content of the show is as far as, you know, what I think of it. And then these are my opinions. Take them with a grain of salt, whether you like it or dislike it, but this is what I think. It's not a kid's show. It's got sci-fi violence in it. It does have some brief language. And obviously the comedy in it, I mean, there's no other way for me to explain it, but he jokes a lot about his butt. Like, and I'm not trying to offend anybody here, but it might sound bad me explaining it this way, but it's comedic stuff like that. It's not real crass or dirty. It's not like South Park or anything like that. It's like more lighthearted, comedic. The humor and the storylines, especially because it does have blood in it, and it's trying to make it a more serious sci-fi show. And so it does have adult storylines and adult themes. So, and this is where it kind of comes back to, you know, those of you that see us and say, oh, I'm not into animated. I would suggest giving this a shot, and here's why. I'm in the middle boat. I don't hate animated TV shows or movies, and I don't love all of them either. I grew up in the era of the old Disney animated movies that came out, and I liked those growing up, and I think they've held up well in today's era as well. So the animation in this is beautiful. Downright, some of the scenes of space and the spaceships and the space battles, they're downright up there with like some of your epic space shows like Star Trek and Star Wars battles and things like that. I mean, it honestly looks great for an animated show. And they do use some computer effects for some of the animation, the backgrounds, and some other things like that. So it does look good there. And I love sci-fi shows, so that's why I wanted to give this a chance. And I had not seen this going into it. So when I pre-ordered this, I was literally doing this as a blind buy for you guys. I wanted to see, okay, what's the content of this, what the quality of it is, what's the show like, and kind of go through that. And it surprised me. It was surprisingly well done, which I'm not saying, I'm not to bash the creator of it, Olin Rogers, who actually created it. I'm not bashing him in any way. I didn't know him from Adam, so I couldn't say that I loved the guy or didn't love the guy at the time. I went into this just like probably some of you, my viewers, are going into this, that you're not sure, well, hey, what is this show? It's a sci-fi comedy epic show, and so it's got this epic storyline that runs throughout season 1, and then some things happen, and then it changes a little bit, and then continues on with an epic storyline in season 2. And it's about a guy named Gary, and I'm not going to give everything away because it's kind of the enjoyment of the show. I mean, I enjoyed getting in it because I didn't know much about it other than I like sci-fi, and I thought, hey, I'm going to see how this is. So I went into it kind of with a blind buy, and that's kind of the excitement of it. But it's about a guy named Gary, and he basically makes a big mistake and gets sentenced to a space prison vessel himself with basically some robots and a computer AI, and that's where a lot of the humor comes in. That's why I said it's kind of one of these things that he's been on this space vessel for years, and the humor I thought was great. One of the characters in it that I do like, that I don't know, you might like, you might not, there's all these different characters, you're going to end up liking some, disliking others, but it's Kevin, a robot, and Gary hates the robot, literally hates the robot, and the robot is allowed to have cookies, but because Gary's the prisoner on this spaceship, he did something by mistake, and that's kind of the humor of it. He's not this horrible person. He did something by mistake, and we all have made mistakes, and that's why I like the show. It's kind of about making up for our mistakes and trying to make things better, and it's got a really sweet storyline through that. The robot, though, the funny part of it is, and I'll show you here a picture of Kevin here, and then obviously this is Gary over here. That's the main character, and they're all semi-main characters in it because they're all in every episode. But anyhow, Gary's the robot here. And he always gets cookies and is smashing them into his robot mouth, but he can't eat any. So that's kind of the humor, like, and I thought that was funny. And that's an ongoing thing throughout the series, is that, you know, Gary can't have cookies and Kevin can. And Gary doesn't like that Kevin can get cookies and he can't. And that's the humor of it. And that's why I said it's got great humor, and it's not, most kids are never going to pick up on it, let alone the action and violence in it is specifically geared more towards adults. It's trying to make it more of an adult series, and it's even classified as an adult sci-fi series. So don't worry about that it's animated. I know some of you might say, well, I'm not into animation. I would suggest giving it a chance. I really thought it was a good show. I thought it was entertaining. There are some things that I disliked about it, and that's why I said, like, it did have some language in it, and I could have done away with that. Other than that, I thought the show, the animation's great in it. The animation, as we're going along, as always, I'm giving you guys screenshots as we're going along here of kind of like the animation, showing some of the like backgrounds of like space and some of the things you're going to see. So as far as the storyline goes, it's a really good storyline, great sci-fi storyline. Does have good comedy in it. It does have serious moments as well throughout it. It's definitely got a lot of humor in it. So I did think, as far as the show goes, I did enjoy it. It's ranked up there with one of my favorite animated sci-fi series. I've liked things like the Batman the Animated Series. I grew up with that. Obviously Superman the Animated Series. There's a lot of shows like that that I liked, and I thought Final Space did a great job for a sci-fi animated series. There's a lot of things that they'll hit you and you'll be like, wow, that was really like well written and heartwarming. And I definitely like, and I'm just going to change subject just for a second here, Mooncake. And Mooncake again, I love Mooncake. Mooncake, and I think most people do. That's the point of why it was created. Mooncake is a great character. Doesn't have many lines, but it is a great character. And he's one of those classic characters. He reminds me of like some of the greatest Disney characters that were created that you just, every time he comes on the screen, you love it. Every time he goes to talk, you love it. He's adorable. And so as far as Mooncake goes, I love Mooncake. I watch the show even just for Mooncake, and Kevin. I do like Kevin too, and I like Gary, but my favorite are probably Kevin and Mooncake. But anyhow, I love those two characters, and the show itself is a really well done show. You're going to enjoy it. So as far as the show goes, it gets my thumbs up. The show itself is great. Now we're going to break down a little bit of the Blu-ray, and I'll kind of intermix about the shows we're going along, but we're going to break this down here for a minute here. So the Blu-ray was released by Warner Archive, and it's a print-on-demand type Blu-ray. It is available, and I'm going to, in the description below, it is now available. It was sold out for a long time. I kind of touched on this a little while ago. It was sold out for a long time, and I pre-ordered my copy, and it did not come for a very long time. And it's because it oversold. They didn't expect it to sell as well as it is. So it's been hard for a lot of people to get. But I will have, in the description, at the top of the description below, I will have a link for you to actually buy your copy. They are in stock right now on Amazon, and I'll have the Amazon link right down below. So I will have that below in the top of the description, the Amazon affiliate link for you guys to go on and actually click through that, and you can just order it straight through Amazon. It is in stock on Amazon. A lot of the other websites don't have it in stock. They've had a hard time keeping it in stock, but it is in stock on Amazon, and that's the link right below in the top of the description. Going through the actual set itself here, the Blu-ray comes in a single standard Blu-ray case, so it's about the size of a single Blu-ray movie that you'd buy, not a bigger case. It does have season 1 and 2 all together in one set, so these are the first 2 seasons. The side of it here just says Final Space, first and second season, and then obviously the back of it, it says Lightfold into seasons 1 and 2 of the animated comedic sci-fi epic Final Space. And then in tiny, tiny print down here, it has the rest of the data. And I actually have that I'll go through with you guys here in a minute. But I'm going to show you the inside here. Inside does not have any pamphlet of any sort, and the back of the actual is white. Then each disc here has the listing of the episodes. The first season is on disc 1. So disc 1 is the whole first season. And then it's got a little leaflet here. You flip that over, and then you're going to have disc 2. And then disc 3 is right here. So it does have basically a little bit longer of a season 2. So you got the first and the second of that. And then there's nothing else in this. So the case and the set itself didn't have any booklets and pamphlets, which I do love that when they would put like a little, even just a little booklet in there that would have said, hey, here's a little bit behind the scenes, the story of the show or why we created it, and then some pictures because of the animation. It would have been great to get some of that animation on just a little booklet. I know I talked to you guys about that. I love those little booklets. So I would have loved that. It doesn't have that though. It's just the discs and the case, and that's it. So as far as the show itself, going into the basically what the discs are, what they have on them, things like that, I'm going to break that down here for you next. The Final Space Blu-ray by Warner Archive here comes obviously with the complete season 1 and 2. The first season is 214 minutes long, and it has 10 episodes. The second season is 275 minutes long and has 13 episodes. But it does have the subtitles are in English on this one. So it does have subtitles, and they are only in English. Now, the audio is DTS HD Master Audio English 5.1. So those of you that are watching this from all over the world, it is DTS HD Master Audio English 5.1 only. So you have to watch it in English. It does have subtitles in English though, so that's a big positive for the set. Some of the sets that I've reviewed over the years don't have subtitles on them. This one does. So that's a big thing as well. So those of you that have hearing impaired or like to watch it with subtitles, it does have that on it. It is 1080p HD 16:9 widescreen. So that's 1.78.1. And so basically, if you have a widescreen, any modern TV, it's going to fill the screen. There was no black bars at top, bottom, or sides. It just goes all the way across widescreen, 16:9. So that was a very nice, beautiful, beautiful animation. Blu-ray release of it being in 1080p is absolutely gorgeous. As far as like comparing it to like Disney Blu-rays and things like that, it is sharp, it is crisp, it is clear. As I've been going along, I've been showing you screenshots of them up here as I've been talking, and I hope that does it justice so you can kind of see it. But let me just say the colors pop on this. The animation is beautiful on it. And if you're watching it on a 4K TV or 1080p TV and above, it just looks beautiful. So as far as an animated show, I'd probably say it's up there with one of the top animated shows. It actually, in my opinion, as far as the quality of the sharpness of the animation, the sharpness of the backgrounds, the pop from the colors, it actually looks better to me. And you know, my wife watched it. It looks better than Batman the Animated Series. And I know Batman the Animated Series was an older series that they remastered and released. But the actual, like, because it's a more modern series that came out, the clarity, the sharpness of it, it is beautiful. up there with probably one of the best animated I've ever seen released on Blu-ray. It looks great, and it's never been released on Blu-ray. This is the first time it's been released on Blu-ray. And I do want to touch on something that I did find out, and I want to make this clear to you guys so you understand this. I try to give you guys as much info as I can in these videos, and that way you have everything you possibly want to know about each of these sets. There are bootleg and burned copies that are made by some companies out there that are not Warner Archive official releases, that are not in 1080p. When I searched on Google, I found this out when I was looking for it, when to pre-order it originally, and was having a hard time finding it in stock and things like that. There's companies that are basically legally burning and making illegal copies from other sources, and they are not 1080p copies, and they are not this copy I'm reviewing. And I wanted to make that clear to you guys because I inevitably get asked, well, is there bootleg copies? Is that the real copy? All of what I do reviews on are real, legitimate copies that were mastered, released by studios. I don't do bootleg. I don't do something that somebody burned off of something. This is a Warner Archive official release. And I wish Warner Archive would have sent it to me, but I'm just like you guys. I had to go out and buy this myself and have it shipped to me. That's why it took me so long to get a hold of it, because it was sold out for a long time, and a lot of places have had a hard time keeping it in stock. So, this is the official one. Any of those bootleg, burned copies by any of those studios, I don't endorse. I don't tell you go out and get one. I always say support the companies that make these, because one, the image quality is always going to be best from the companies that released it. Not something that somebody burned off their computer and somebody had said, oh, it's a little bit cheaper if you buy the burned. I don't care. Don't buy the burned copy. Support the company. Buy it from Warner Archive, which is why in the link in the description below, that is the direct link. That is the Amazon link for the actual Warner Archive. You don't have to worry about it being a bootleg or burned copy. That is the official release. So that link I have in the description is for the official release. I will not put links for anything having to do with bootleg or anything. That's the official, actual release of this. So in the description below is where you can get the actual one. So you don't have to worry about going out there and trying to find which ones are bootleg. That's the actual link to the actual Warner Archive release. So I got that out of the way about the bootleg. So there's your answer on that. I don't support bootleg. I don't say go get it. I say get the actual release, the actual from the company. That's the 1080p release. That's the only one that's in 1080p. Continuing on what the Blu-ray has in it. It's going to have in your special features, Season 1 is going to have behind the scenes of all 10 episodes. They're little, basically like a couple minutes long, talking about little things that are hidden in each episode or why they did certain things in each episode. They're pretty basic and not too long, but they have one for each episode. So there's 10 of them for each episode of Season 1 on the special features. And then when you get to Season 2, same thing. Both Disc 2 and Disc 3 have all of the special features where it's each episode, it's a behind the scenes of Olin Rogers or some of the cast. That they're just talking a little bit about what went into making that episode, little things that maybe you missed, hidden things, or things they put as Easter eggs in the episode. So it's cute. Each episode, though, does have one of their own for both Season 1 and 2. So it was nice that they did have special features with little clips and behind the scenes things about making the show on there. So that's your special features. That's it. That's all that's on there of the special features. Now this is the biggest thing. All of my international audience, America, anywhere, you can buy it through that link and have it imported to your country, because this set is region free. And that is huge. So this set, if you live in England, if you live in France, if you live in Germany, if you live in Australia, if you live in Japan, it doesn't matter. You live UK, Ireland. I try to cover everything I can think of. Canada, it doesn't matter. You buy this set from Amazon US, have it imported to your country, it is region free. You can play it in any of your Blu-ray players. And I thought that was great. So this set is another great region-free release. So obviously in America, we can play this no problem. That's where it was released by Warner Archive, which is in America. But for those of you that are watching my channel from outside the country, this is a huge deal for you guys. You can go down through that link that I have below at the top of the description, order it from Amazon US, just clicking through that, Now, obviously, you're going to have to pay to have it shipped to your country. But if you live in Germany and you want to import this, go right ahead. Buy it from Amazon US. You can buy it right through that link below in the description. Have it shipped to you, and it's region free. So you will have an official 1080p Warner Archive release that is region free. You can play it in your Blu-ray player no matter where you live. So if you're in France, if you're in England, it doesn't matter where you are, you can get this region free. So I always try to tell you guys about that. So that way, any of you that are watching this that are international audience, you know what is and what isn't, whether it's a US release and it's region free, whether it's from France, and then those of you that are in the US want to know, I always make sure to tell region free on this. That's huge. So you can import this anywhere and you're going to be able to play it just fine and have an official copy of Final Space. I highly recommend the show. It was very entertaining. They're short episodes. They're not super long, so it's kind of one of those things that keep the story moving. The comedy's in there. You can do a play all feature, which I always love when you sit down, especially for a shorter comedic show. You can put it in, press play all, and it'll just play through all of them. And I'll show you here a screenshot of what the main menu is. It's basically got your play all, your episodes, and then obviously it has your special features, and then your audio selection as far as if you're wanting to have basically subtitles or things like that. It is all in English, so if you are wanting it in another language, it's not available in that. You'll have to watch it in either English subtitles or with English audio, but it is DTS HD Master Audio English 5.1. And I do like that. I thought the audio quality on it was great. For the animated show, for it being in, like I said, I like DTS HD Master Audio, so I'm a little impartial because I do like that. So I did think the audio was great on it being 5.1 as well. But the show is entertaining, it's lighthearted, it's kind of one of those things that it has seriousness in it, but then it'll lighten it up with a joke or something lighthearted will happen. And I do really appreciate that part of it. It's kind of one of those things is you never take it too intense. It doesn't keep you up late at night if you watch it late at night. It's kind of one of those things you enjoy the series and enjoy the show. So, but it is a sci-fi, epic, comedy, adventure series. It's got a lot of great things going for it. It's got some interesting cast in it. Voice cast, Fred Armisen. Olin Rogers does some of the main cast voices and things like that. Then you got like Tom Kenny, Fred Armisen, I already told you about that one. David Tennant, and I don't know if you guys remember David Tennant, but if you've ever watched Doctor Who, David Tennant of Doctor Who is one of the voices in it. Stephen Yeun from, he was actually on The Walking Dead is one of the voices in it. And there's quite a few other ones, Ron Perlman, and it goes on from there. But just kind of giving you a heads up. So it has quite a good cast of characters and voices on the show that's surprising. That it was kind of one of those things that when you started listening, you're like, oh, I recognize that voice. Oh, I recognize that voice. So there's a lot of people involved in it. The animation is beautiful on it. And regardless of whether you're a big animated fan or whether you're not, I would suggest giving it a try because the show itself will surprise you. I don't want to give away too much, but it's got time travel and multiple other aspects of sci-fi stories that make it really good. And it's got a continuing, ongoing story throughout it. And very enjoyable series, very enjoyable to watch and just enjoy, but definitely an adult series. So as far as this Blu-ray release goes, the score for this, and I always give a score on this channel based on multiple things. I wish it would have had some sort of insert with a little booklet or something. Maybe even the cover art being reversible. I did love the release, but there was a little bit of things that I would have just added extra to it. So I'm just pointing those out compared to other releases. This one, based on the quality, looked great. The Blu-rays were great. I obviously loved it being region-free. I loved it's a minimalist case, so it's a smaller case. It's not going to take up a ton of room on your space. It does have the complete first and second season in it. I liked all of that. So as far as this one, I'm going to give it a 9.7. And again, great release. Highly recommend the Blu-ray content of it. It's just a cute show. And I hate to call it cute because some of you might get offended, but it's hard to put it in a category. It's got so many different elements into the show. But 9.7 is what I'm going to review this Blu-ray release. I definitely enjoyed it. I think you're going to enjoy it. It's lighthearted. Whether you've tried animated shows or you haven't, if you like sci-fi epic shows, give it a chance. It grows on you. It's got a lot of really great storylines in it for an animated show. And I don't want to dumb it down by when I said that SpongeBob was comparison to animated. There's some stories in SpongeBob that I've liked. My kids watch it and things like that, and I've watched it with them. And there are some stories in SpongeBob that are pretty darn good. And it's one of those things that I tried to add that in because I was trying to think of an animated show that's got some heartwarming stories and some characters that you really like, that then compare it to like Star Trek, a more serious sci-fi. So that's why I said I'm trying to combine and I'd say get it, give it a try. It doesn't cost very much. You're looking at the first 2 seasons on a Blu-ray set that's region free, that's an official release for $25. You can't go wrong. So I would definitely, if I were you, I'd buy it, try it out. Let me know in the comments what you think of it, what you think of this review. I always appreciate the comments. I hope you guys have enjoyed this one today. I tried to get this out as soon as possible because it's been sold out. It's been hard to get a hold of, and I finally got my copy, so I wanted to get this out to you guys as soon as possible. I'd suggest trying it out. You'll find out that you probably really don't like this. So 9.7, I appreciate all of your time today. I always enjoy spending time with you guys here. I'm trying to get these out to you guys as soon as possible. This one I've been excited about, and I wanted to make sure I get this one out to you. I appreciate every single one of you. Please make sure to like, subscribe, and then give this video a thumbs up. That always helps out as well. And share these with anyone you know. Share them so that way they know to come out and watch them as well. But make sure to give this video a like, and then comment in the comments below. Let me know about what you're liking, if you like this review, how you're doing, and if you end up getting this for yourself, let me know below as well. I appreciate every one of you today, and I hope all of you have a blessed day. As always,